I understand, but how did you initially get? You must have had something in there originally.
Well, yeah, we took some material out of an earth science textbook, and then went to the existing encyclopedias, electronic encyclopedias like Grolier's, and the online dictionaries and thesauruses to pick up the reference material. One of the things I'm not really at liberty to go into here is the way the authoring tools work, which are as easy to author as the learner interfaces to learn from, and the way that we organize the structure of a database so that there's the kind of growth process that I've talked about can occur. But you're right, we did seed the module with some starting materials, which came right out of conventional electronic encyclopedia, dictionary, and traditional textbooks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Much as I understand the question there, much as any teacher or curriculum designer from a corporation or whatever could seed the system with a module of their intention, and then in a sort of co-equal learning environment with their trainees, their managers, or their students in the classroom or in the lab or whatever, could then learn together to grow into a larger module or more modules.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, I don't mean to be any more cryptic about this than I have to be. There are certain things about the way that we structure all this down below that, like I said, is rather proprietary. But the point that I want to get at is that irregardless of that structure, it's a living learning system, that we start off with what I call the seed crystal, which has one or two representations of the intended meaning of this point in the system, in the curriculum intention of this piece of material, and through its interactions with learners in terms of what they don't understand at the reference level and what they don't understand about at the representational level, then information flows back to the original designers to add pieces that actually reflect real-world needs, or, depending upon whether it's in a network environment, the system allows for the learners themselves to be tasked to create it. So, for example, a group of sixth graders might start off with a piece of text on the Civil War from a point of view of battle tactics, but then go off to go into studying some of the particular generals and the drama of their personal lives. And that as they created that material, the same system that they were learning through on one hand would create the funnel, the input structure through which they could take what they created and contributed it into the system in a way that it now would be a resource for everybody else in it.
Fascinating. Fascinating. So it's really, from a design, we're talking about designing multimedia here. From a design perspective, you're talking about relationship principles informing the design of technology rather than focusing on technological design principles a priori.
Yeah, maybe this is a good time to take a second and cycle back to one of the more really profound experiences that, for me, that have come into all of this space, come into this issue. About 3 or 4 years ago, as I mentioned earlier, I was really interested in the Nintendo systems and how it was that they engaged children to the degree that they do. And so I got a room full of kids, let them hook up to a Nintendo system, put the output of the Nintendo system through a VCR, wired the kids for sound, told them to describe, and run around and do whatever it is they needed to do to describe what they were experiencing, and let them go. And what I discovered... Did you pad the wall? I disappeared from another room, kind of wanted to be invisible. But what I discovered was so fascinating, right? That it wasn't the whizzy graphics, it wasn't the sound, it wasn't the fact that it was a special theme that they were interested in. It wasn't about Ninja Turtles or Batman or any number of other major themes that have floated along in the Nintendo games. It was about the fact that these environments challenged them. It challenged them in a way that they wanted to go into them. They wanted to travel up against the edge, the wall, the place where they couldn't go any further. And once they bounced into this wall, It frustrated them. It frustrated them in a way that they couldn't resolve initially. In other words, there was this balance between challenging them, taking them to some object or problem in the game, and then frustrating them. And then right at that level when they were frustrated, they could freeze the system, jump offline to a series of resources, which might be wizards and potions and whatever it was, and experiment with bringing these resources back to bear to blow through that frustration ball. And that what I discovered was that was what was underneath why all these kids really got into. It was the system of being, of this balance between challenge, engagement, frustration, the ability to find resources while they were in the window of frustration, bring them to bear on the obstacles, and therefore be able to power through. That was what was underneath all of the surface of the visual images and the sounds and all the rest of the game architecture. That was a common theme, and it allowed itself to personalize to each individual that went through it. And it really, really occurs to me that in some way that's the same basic dynamic that we need to be developing in multimedia experiences. Rather than an elegant, isn't this nice, one size, no matter how many different permutations somebody might have when they play with it. How is it that at each time that somebody's frustrated, they're about to go into this dropout that we spoke of, that they're able to find the resources to be able to renew themselves and continue in a way that extends their learning and in a way that allows the system itself as a context to be learning to evolve in the support of them. And it's that new general relationship that I'm interested in and that we're all about.
Fascinating. I think we've just got a few seconds left. It looks like there are very few calls. There are no calls, actually, so this is a good time to say goodbye for this segment. I always find it fascinating to listen to you, David, and this has been a wonderful opportunity. And I hope that it spawned a lot of questions in people that even afterwards you'll go back to wherever you are and just ponder on the whole orientation shift in designing that David has developed. And I just want to thank you for the privilege of just sitting in on your conversation with all those people out there.
Thank you. Thank you, Ian, and thank you, and to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye.